Watch how to make this poster light box. Posters can easily be removed while on the wall. If you don't feel like fighting gravity, you can easily remove the box from the wall, lay it down to remove the poster. On-off switch on the side. Can be charged with any C-port cell phone charger. Plug it to the port. Red light indicates battery is charging. This light turns blue when fully charged. Okay, so on this light box journey, I learned some things I think you should know before you start a build like this. I learned this after I had this thing built. Don't make my mistakes. First, this is what a regular 24 by 36 inch poster looks like in a light box. See how it's all faded looking? Now this is what a real movie poster looks like in a light box. What a big difference in the image. The colors really pop. This looks so much better. I didn't know this, but a movie poster that a movie theater would have on display are printed on both sides, front and back. The back side is printed in a reverse image. This is why the color really pop. Second, a double-sided movie poster only comes in 27 by 40 inch size. There's a whole other world where people collect posters. Prices vary from $15 used to prices in the thousands. The best place I've seen to buy a movie poster is movieposter.com. They have every poster you can think of. The poster you see here are cut to fit, and in the poster world, that's not good. Cutting it makes it lose its value. I already had this built, so I bought a used poster for $25 then cut it. I'll be making a correct size light box in the near future, so stay tuned. I think I'll be using a different technique too. So here's the poster frame I'm going to be replacing. It fell on me a couple of times because it's on the door, so I need to secure the new one pretty good. Here's where I had my daughter buy me a snap frame for Christmas. Prices vary on the size you get. This is a 24 by 36 inch. It was $56. Here's what I spent at Home Depot. I tried to get material where I had to do the least amount of cutting as possible. The little amount of cutting that does have to get done, Home Depot can do most of the cuts for you if you ask. Here's what I got from Amazon. It's a bit pricey, but most of it I can use to make more light boxes in the future, which I plan to do so. So I didn't mind spending it. The next light box I make won't cost so much. Considering the price of a light box of this size, I definitely don't mind it. Here's the cut list. The French cleat cut is the only cut where you'll need a table saw to cut. I don't think Home Depot will do it. There are other alternatives to hang in the box. I also use aluminum tape that I already had, some 5-minute epoxy, and 8 feet of fiber optic 1mm cable. Start by cutting the 1x3 to 37 inches. The remaining pieces, cut them to 23.5. Assemble them like this with the Craig jig. Put glue before you screw them. This is how it should look. Now for the French cleat. Use the 1/2 inch by 3.5. Rip it in half on a 45 degree. After that, I cut to length, which is 23.5. Now cut the mid-support piece to that same length. Set it in place. This piece is mostly to keep the box from bowing out in the middle. Now put pocket holes with the Craig jig. Attach it to the frame with glue and screws. Here's what it should look like. Now take the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch piece of wood and put them all around the perimeter. Cut one to 23.5 and attach it to the bottom with glue and 1-inch nails. For the sides, just mark them, cut them, and also attach it with glue and 1-inch nails. Here's what it should look like when it's done. Now cut the whiteboard 23.5 by 35.5. Drop it in place to check the fit. Good. Remove the board and mark where the center wood is. With a 1/8 drill bit, drill holes around the board. This is the top, so I don't have to go close to the edge. Make sure you're not drilling into a screw. The other side of the cleat that goes on the wall doesn't need to be so long. I'll cut it around here. This will go in here like this. Now drill some holes in here, then countersink the holes. Now here's the snap frame on the box. It sticks out a little, but I'm cool with that. Snap the frame open to expose the screw holes. That's how you attach it to the box. I'm going to put more holes in it later. Now for wiring this thing up. Here's the battery holder. The battery holder holds two 18650 rechargeable batteries. I have these for now. The bigger ones didn't come in yet. Here's this charging module with the C port. The wall charger connects to this end. The other end connects to the module in the box. I got two 6 feet battery control cool white LED light strips. I wound up using the third. The on-off switch. Now I'm going to connect all of this before I put it in the box to make sure it's going to work. I won't show the complete process on doing this, maybe some key things, but here's a diagram of how I'm putting this together. It's going to require some soldering. You can watch a quick video on how to solder later. Here is the box. Here are all the components. The C-port extension will go through the wood, then connect to the module. The switch will go through the wood as well. One end of the switch connects to the out plus on the module. The other to the LED strip on the positive side. The negative side of the LED strip connects to the out negative on the module. The battery positive connects to the B plus on the module. And the negative connects to the B negative on the module. Here's the key thing to mention. This build can work with one battery. How long it lasts depends on the milliamp per hour. The batteries I got are 9,900 milliamps per hour. I didn't know how long this will stay lit, so I doubled the milliamps per hour with a parallel battery holder. This increases the milliamps, so make sure you get a parallel battery holder if you're going to double the batteries and prolong how long it stays lit. After I did this build, I tested how long the light box stayed on. It stayed on for 9 hours straight, so I probably could have just got away with one battery. I test wired everything up and it works as it should. But now here's the thing. The lights on the module, they're super small and they're going to be covered up in the box. So to solve this problem, I'm going to use fiber optic cable. Here's a sample on how this works. The fiber is flexible and can be put anywhere you want. As long as you put one end over the light source, the other end will light up. Like this. So I have to connect the cable onto here with some kind of 5-minute epoxy. The other end will go outside of the box. Okay, now back to the box. I need to make holes for the extension and the switch. The extension is 1 inch thick, so I'm going to use a 1-inch paddle bit. This is 1 3/4 inches, so the center of this is 7/8. Put my mark. I notice the extension is 1 1/8 towards the top, then it goes down to 1 inch. I don't want it sticking out so much, so I'm going to need to start the hole with an 1 1/8 hole saw first, then finish off with the 1 inch paddle bit. I don't want an ugly blowout on the other side, so I flip this over to finish the hole. Still, it was kinda tight, so I had to hit it with the Dremel. Perfect fit. Make sure the back screws on to the extension, and it does. Now for the switch is not gonna make it all the way through to the other side, so I need to make sure it's a tight fit. Then I can just put a little bit of hot glue and it should hold it. The bit size is a 1532. When drilling my hole, I'll step up to that size. Put my mark, then drill. Nice tight fit. Now 2 holes for the fiber optic cable. I'm using a 1/16 bit. So now that I have my holes, I can sand and paint this thing. As for the wiring, I had it charging all last night. The light turned blue, indicating the battery is charged. The batteries are not hot, so we're all good. I sanded and applied 3 coats of paint, sanding in between coats. The next day, it's all dry and I can attach the whiteboard to the frame with some 1/2 inch pan head screws. Now that that's done, I can start wiring this thing up. Install the C port extension, making sure the port is horizontal. Now the switch. My batteries and holders came in. You can see how much bigger they are. This wire here is so thick, I'm going to run it something like this. I could just use aluminum tape to hold it down, but I'm going to use some crown staples first. Connect the module. The battery holder can go here. The LED strip can start here. Here's the staple gun. I gotta be careful and make sure the wire falls in the center. If I make a mistake, this wire will be no good. I'm going to hot glue around this area. I need to make sure I have room to be able to connect fiber optic cable to the module. Lay out the fiber optic cable, one for the red light and one for the blue light. Run it through the wood. Now here's the trick. If you put the cable close to a fire, it will flare out the tip. Then you can pull it and it will not go through the hole you made. Do the same for the other. I'm just going to weave it around the other wire. Now I'm going to connect the wires for the switch. I'll do the same process when I was running the wire, but I'll go the other direction. I'm soldering all my wires and using heat shrink tube to cover the exposed wire. Now I'm going to connect all the wires to the module. It's already pre-wired from my tests I conducted. Put a little hot glue to hold the switch, and just for the heck of it, put some on the extension. Be careful not to touch the fiber optic. Hot glue the module and the battery holder in place. To connect the fiber optic to the module is difficult. I need to make a holder to hold the cable in place. Then I can carefully put epoxy on it. When it dries, it's there forever. I'm going to make a holder out of cardboard. Cut it like so. Put 2 notches over the lights by marking it, then making a small cut. Glue the cardboard in place. Make sure the 2 slots are over the lights. Put the cables in the slots and adjust them over the light. It's a little tricky, but patience is key. Once you think you have both cables over the lights, plug in the wall charger. The blue light on the module will turn on if the switch is on the on position. When you put the switch on the off position, the red light will turn on. Check to see if you can see the lights on the outside of the box next to the switch. If you can see the red and blue light, you can now put epoxy on it. Read the instructions on the epoxy. You mix it together and carefully apply it with a toothpick. You don't want to move the cable out of place, so put a little and be careful. Then give it 10 minutes and apply it again. Do this 3 times. You want to build up the epoxy around the cable. When done, check it again with the batteries in it. Looks good. Now to apply the LED strips, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to use some masking tape to temporarily hold it in place, then check to see how it looks. Lay the poster on it. It looks okay in real life, but on camera, it doesn't look good. You can see the LED strips through the poster. It would have helped to set up the lights further back, but I didn't want to make this box so thick. I don't have any more LED light strips, so for now, I'll leave it. Now I'm going to put aluminum tape around the inside of the box. This will hold the wire in place and act as a reflector. To connect the LED strip to the whiteboard, I'm spraying alcohol on a shop cloth, then wiping the board before I stick the strip down on it. Now I'm going to attach the French cleat to the door. This door is a hollow core door, so there's not a lot of wood to screw to. For that, I'm going to use this double-sided tape to help hold it up. If you're hanging this on the wall, you shouldn't have to use this. You might have to use some kind of anchor. Because it's on the door, I also need to consider the doorknob, then go from there. Measure it out and attach it. Hang the box. It looks good. Now I'm going to temporarily attach the frame to the box. Flip the frames to expose the holes. I'm going to make more holes in the frame so I can attach it with more screws. Move the frame away from the box and drill the holes using a 1/8 drill bit. Clean out the burrs and screw it down. Put a poster in it, test it out. Here's a side view. Not too bad. Now you see what happens when you quickly close the door? The bottom of the frame pulls away from the door. To stop this from happening, I'm going to use an L bracket like this and a large zip tie holder. I need to make this hole a little bigger. That's what I want. Again, I'm going to use double-sided tape. Put it on the back of the zip tie holder. Here's the setup. Now at the center, stick it to the door. Now put screws in it. Now let's test it. Perfect. No play. I can easily take it off and on. Now I need the extra lights to come in. My lights came in, now I can add them to the box. For that, I'm just going to add it to here. Cut it, add another here, cut it, another here, cut it, then a piece here. Now let's test it out. That's much better. Now I just need a better quality poster. And there it is, a battery powered light box. On off switch. Charge it. Red light means it's charging. This light turns blue when fully charged. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Peace.